there are these support characters.
Yeah.
And in some contexts in life, I think it's important for everyone to be a support character, as well as to... I have just cut my own hair and now I have coconut oil in it. So I thought I would leave that for a while and talk to you guys and show you my new video. It's Friendship Part 2, and if you haven't watched Part 1 with Evelina, I will put the description. No, I will put the link in the description box below. But this week I am talking to my friend Lovisa, and I have to admit it was ages ago since we filmed this and I couldn't really remember what the heck we had talked about, so it was interesting for me to go back and look at it as well. But anyway, so it's the same questions that I gave in the previous video. We talked about friendship and what's the hard part about friendship and so on, and then we kind of started having a discussion about how we act with people in general, and just how and all the different facades we put up with people we meet or people we have known. So it's a bit long, but I think it's an interesting conversation, and I especially think conversations about friendship and how we act with other people and these masks that we use. I think these are the kind of conversation we should have more often, and just try and be more honest with each other. And because I think like everyone is equally unsure of themselves or scared, or but we just display that in different ways. While some are more outgoing, some are more introvert, but I think at the end of the day we're very, very similar, and it's just very interesting to kind of dip your toes into these conversations. And I hope I can do it more and talk to more people about it to continue this series. I do have a recording with another friend, but I'm not sure if the sound will work to edit with, so we'll see if there will be a part 3 soon. But for now, this is Lovisa and I and Friends on Friendship Part 2. Enjoy. Let's start with a cheer. Cheers. This is Lovisa, my super cute friend, and she promised me, but I forced her to talk about friendship with me. Oh, how nice. Yes. So, but I only have like 2 questions for you. So they better be really difficult questions then. What's the hardest part about friendship? Ooh. It's when they give you difficult questions to answer. No. That's a very good question, actually. I think actually that friendship is it gives you like permission to be frank at the same time as if it's the wrong sort of friendship, or if it's like not attuned to you, then it's it can have the opposite effect, which is like you're putting up a sort of facade. Okay. And I think I've experienced both, actually. Right. Yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, because it's easy if I think I can always speak for myself, but I'm the sort of person who kind of adapts to depending on the person I talk to. Sort of like a social chameleon. In a way,
me too.
yeah, and sometimes I guess you can lose yourself a bit, and then what part of yourself are you really showing to this other person? Are you really showing your true self? And if you're not, then what are you basing the friendship on? It's sort of like a false advertisement.
Yeah,
almost.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it is a personality. To be the chameleon is a personality.
Yeah.
So what's really so wrong? Like, it's important to be this person as well. Because if you look at films or any sort of story, there are these support characters.
Yeah.
And in some contexts in life, I think it's important for everyone to be a support character, as well as to be able to step out and take the lead, especially when it comes to your own life, so you don't end up in this whole trying to please everyone, which is something that I'm constantly struggling with.
Yeah.
It's difficult because if you grow up thinking that, which I think is quite common for girls, to think that if I'm nice, then people will like me.
Yeah.
And then what's nice, it's making people happy. And then you forget about making yourself happy.
Yeah.
And then you have to kind of revolt against that and be like, no, I'm not going to be the nice one. I'm going to be the one who does something else now. And then if people stick with you during that time and after that, that's when you know you have the friends. But you obviously, hopefully, don't have to go through the whole revolting more than once.
What's the most rewarding part about friendship?
The most rewarding part? I think it's actually the reminder of the connectedness. That sounds very vague and very out there, like you have to do yoga and be spiritual to understand, but really no, anyone can feel a sense of connectedness, which is when you do something nice for someone you like and you get a nice response that is not about your validation, it's not about getting something in return, but when it's this honest giving that's reminding you that everything is connected and everybody's a part of this big thing. That sounds very silly. Maybe. No, actually, no. I'm gonna stand up for this now and say that it's actually it's what I find really beautiful, because for a long time I've been sort of afraid of commitment. We talked about this earlier, you and I. So what we talked about is that I forgot what we were saying.
I forgot too what you were saying. You talking about. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's this crazy Spanish thing.
Yes, we're drinking cava, and that wasn't
totally product placement.
Very good.
Very.
And I love that we have an East European voice, but we're drinking Spanish.
Yeah, wine. I always go to the East European now because she's dating one. I recommend it. Good.
Cheers to that.
Oh, now I remember. We should cheers whenever we forget what to say.
Go for it.
So we were talking about commitment issues.
Yes.
And I think that's a part of the commitment issues. If you feel separated from everyone and you feel like you're your own little island, then it's maybe difficult or even impossible to see, why should I talk to people? Why should I invest in spending time with people? Even if it makes you feel good, then you can still get stuck in this it's such a hassle to just get out there and socialize, especially if someone is a bit insecure or consider themselves to be an introvert, then it's a big deal to just get ready and go to this social event, even if you're looking forward to going.
Yeah. But do you find it hard to sort of trust people, or is it hard for you
to connect with people and reach that sort of level. And as you said, you're sort of a people pleaser. So can you forget yourself in that, and you're just sort of going through the motions and doing what you think you have to do to maintain a friendship or to be social with other people, or you just... I'm not sure what my question is.
Like if you can get stuck in the people pleasing and then forget about yourself.
Yeah, sort of. And I mean, to tie that together with, as you said, you're like being a bit hesitant to go out and be social, if that has to do with it because you're just kind of still behind this facade and not really have the courage to be who you are or whatever, or show all your sides to someone, and that might be one of the reasons why it's difficult to...
Yeah, definitely, because it's putting up a facade, it's very draining. Like it's, even though it's in a lot of ways easier to put up a facade, it's also very hard to hide yourself and to be on sort of a constant guard. I don't think that I get as lost in people pleasing as I used to, even though like you have to continuously remind yourself to be like, why am I doing this? Even like with things that you think that you do for yourself, like why am I really doing this? And that's like, it's very important, like to come back to the core of why are you doing anything really? Like I'm not saying like people should lay down and question everything before they do it, because there is a great power and, how do you say, like simplicity in doing something and then afterwards thinking like, oh, why did I do it?
So would you say, if like when you're meeting new people, do you always kind of maintain some sort of facade towards them?
I think it depends on the context.
Yeah.
Really, like if I'm meeting someone at office space rather than like on the street or in the shop, I actually find it more easy to say hello to someone for the first time. It sounds really strange maybe. I don't know if, does anyone else experience this, that like to say hello to someone, to shake their hand, to hear their name and tell them your name and be like making a first contact. That's like, that's fine. That's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. But then when you get to the point where
And when you have to take it further.
Yeah, and I get a bit low energy and then I'm like, I don't exactly know what questions to ask, and then even like if you're in a work environment and you see these people every day and I don't want to be the boring person who asks the same thing over and over, and then at the same time I'm like, is it okay for me to ask these questions?
Yes. No, I can agree, because that first instant hello, you're still sort of curious of the person, and you're still like open-minded towards them or whatever. But the longer you, well, the workplace is a perfect like situation or example of it, because the longer you kind of are in the same space of each other, in the same orbit, it kind of becomes more and more awkward to get to know them. Yeah. Because you have already labeled the person or put them in
a little box.
You put them in a little box. So this is like, they are like this, so I'll file them over here, and this person is like that, so I'll put them over here, and mentally. And so it's very hard to, if you don't take the opportunity to immediately and get to know someone, it will be gone, sort of. Yeah. Unless you are at a Christmas party and drink a lot of booze and connect that way.
And then you don't
Swedish
remember
way.
it the next day.
Exactly.
And then you're back to square one.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
But, so yeah, because I think at least that's the way it is for me. Like, I love connecting with new people, but when it comes to actually maintaining friendship and trying to deepen the friendship and like actually putting effort into it, I sort of fail a lot of times. So for me, I feel like I have a lot of acquaintances, but I don't necessarily have a lot of deep relationship as friends go. I have, the ones I have are like a few but close ones, but it takes a long time for me to go from meeting someone to actually for them to be in that tight circle of friends.
Yeah.
And that might be of a trust issue, or not being able to open up myself and show who I am and be totally comfortable with the other person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. And also, like, there are these tiny little hills in all relationships that are like, can we make our schedules match? Like,
Yeah.
a simple thing like that.
Yeah,
We live in
exactly.
the same town and we don't see each other
Yeah.
very often because we're such busy, important people. and
True that.
and I mean, just taking the time to see you now is like, it's like a tiny celebration.
Yeah,
It's
well-
like, woo.
And then something we have to book a month ahead. So,
Yeah, it's insane.
yeah. So that's certainly like a small, like a small object of like what's hard about keeping friends.
Yeah.
Like his time
Yeah.
and communication. And
Yeah, and then I think it's important to have the shared interests, which is like, we like food, obviously. So so we're like, let's eat and hang
Yeah.
out, or drink wine, or
clothes
Do
and
yoga,
yoga.
yeah.
You had some questions for me.
yes, question actually.
Fine question.
So before this recording thing, we were talking about these little, not slogans, but these little words to live by, and how they can mean a lot, but they can also be like just empty words.
Yeah.
And I guess what I want to ask is not like what words you're living by now, but what words do you think, if you look deep in your heart and can be honest about that, like what do you think that you need to hear from yourself right now?
Wow.
I'm such a jerk for asking this
That's
question, aren't I?
That's a good question. That's a good question to ask spontaneously. And, sorry, not prepared. Maybe. So the question was what I need to hear from myself.
Yeah.
Just do it. To quote Nike. Yeah, because for me it's I'm very much. I think you and I are both alike in this, that we get tons of ideas, about 100 a day.
Yeah, so anyone want to buy ideas? We have a bunch.
Yeah, we're very similar that way. We have projects and we're gonna do this and that and and we have all the time in the world. Not. And I kind of keep changing my mind all the time, which I'm very tired of. And I had this conversation actually with Kat yesterday. We were talking about like, and I told you that as well. Like, why should I concentrate on finding the things that will make me happy in 5 years? And like, why should I have long-term goals when I don't even know who I am in 5 years, or if I will even be alive in 5 years? Why shouldn't I just make what makes me happy today instead? And right now I'm sort of in this mental transition to minimalizing and tiny living and all of that movement. And I feel if I start thinking too much about things, that's gonna stop me from actually doing them. So that's why I kind of need to tell me to just do it. The battery's gonna run out, but maybe you have time to answer if you have something you live by, some saying or motto or...
Oh, that's the problem with these questions. They always come back at you. Yeah, actually, I deserve all things that are good, but I'm gonna work for it.
Like a motivation,
Yeah.
so to speak, almost. Like
Yeah, because I've been in a lot of like, oh, the universe got your back. Oh, you have everything you need within yourself, and yes, that's partially true. But also, like, I realized lately that, well, yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm appreciative of, and there's a lot of things that are nice and good, but also like if I want to keep that, then I have to work for it to maintain it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't just show up.
That's true. Good answer.
Thank you.
And on that note, before the battery runs out, I'm gonna ask you to help me to do the goodbye thing here.
What was it? Like,
Well, as always,
oh.
kisses, hugs, and goodbye.
Don't forget to subscribe to my awesome friend here. And yeah, stay cool, stay motivated, work for your goals, but rest also.
And do your thing.
Yeah.